So some of these reasons are women's welfare, of course. We know that abortion is not good for women, so we want to encourage different choices in abortion. Children's lives, obviously. Society's future. Abortion does have a negative impact on society as a whole, not only because it affects individuals, but we never know what people are missing from the world that are supposed to be here. And then history will know. I really like this reason. Just as we know, people who helped hide Jews during the Holocaust, they were really doing the right thing as Christians, or even they were not Christians who did, but history will know one day when abortion is seen for what it really is, that people were out there and they were helping save these children and protect these mothers. And then, because it's our duty, as Christians, I really like this definition. It's literally our duty to be there, because abortion victimizes all moms, dads, babies, families, and so it's definitely our duty to be there. So how does Sidewalk counsel? We're going to be going over this like really in depth today. This is just really the basic type of thing. So prepare, educate yourself, which is what you're doing right now. One of the ways to educate yourself, of course, is to know abortion procedures, to know fetal development. I don't really want to spend time going over that today because I know you guys see that all the time. There are some papers in the back there that have all the abortion procedures in them, fetal development, a lot about post-abortion syndrome. So you guys can pick that up if you need brushing up on some of that. Compile materials. You'll need a lot of different things. You'll need, I'll go over a few of the literature type things that you'll need in a minute, but just the right clothes to wear, right things for the weather. Know the pregnancy help center details. You'll need to know when they're open, when they offer ultrasounds, what services they have available. I recommend at least going up there to meet people who actually work there, know them personally so that you're not just some random person showing up one day with someone, so get to know them. And the most important one is to pray. Definitely without prayer, none of this life-saving work is quite possible. Some other good things to know are lawsuits that have potentially been against the abortion facility. That's like good to share with the women and also good for just personal knowledge. Okay, so as far as literature and things go, it's good to have a brochure for the Pregnancy Help Center. Preferably be able to have one of those in the literature that you give to every woman so that she does have that. Developmental pictures of the baby, a remains photograph, and you know what that is, like a picture of a newborn child. Spanish or race-specific materials. Even if you don't see a lot of different races coming, like you never know when someone's going to show up. Whenever they drove far away or whatever, so you just have one. Fetal models. And this one's one that I really care about is the post-abortion material. Sometimes we forget and don't really take those types of things, but there will be women, unfortunately, who do go through with their abortions and they're going to come out. And so it's good to have material that you can give them for healing. So one thing to definitely know before you go out is to know your rights. A lot of groups that are organized are a little bit better about gathering all this material, but if there isn't a group set up, it's really good to look up city ordinances, like where public right-of-ways are, like where you're allowed to stand. If an abortion facility is frustrated that you're there, which they most likely will be because you're stealing their business, they're going to try to tell you that you're not allowed to do things that you might be allowed to do, like you can't stand here, you can't stand there. So it's really good to look up city lines where you're publicly allowed to be. Don't be apologetic, and so don't be apologetic that you're there. So I know in Memphis, where I kind of forgot to introduce myself a little bit. Sorry. My name is Julia, of course. And mostly where I Sidewalk counsel is New York City and Memphis, and a lot of like poor, like inner city areas. And so one part in Memphis is they have a security guard, and he always tries to make you feel so guilty. Like, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be doing this. But legally, we're allowed to do those things. So be nice, but don't be apologetic. Free speech does not depend on the consent of the listener. Of course, you don't want to harass anyone, but you're allowed to say something to the women, even if you don't feel like they're listening. You're allowed to be talking. They can tell you you're not allowed to talk to them. No local laws, fight unconstitutional ones. Laws do vary from different areas, so it's good to know. Have an attorney's number on hand. I have an attorney's number on my phone. I've never used it. I've never talked to this guy. but I know that he knows our group has his number, so if anything ever happened, I can call him up. So it's good to have one friendly attorney that you can know his number. So our goals in Sidewalk counseling are obviously to talk to the women, to get the literature in their hand if they're going in, definitely make sure they have that. Take them to a pregnancy help center to help get the resources that they need, and stop them from entering. So, how to sidewalk counsel. We'll definitely get more into some of these things. One thing I feel like a lot of people struggle with, including myself when I started, was like, what do I say first? Have you guys ever thought that? What do you say first? And I like to put this 2 different ways. This is a great first line. Hi, my name is Julia. This is for you. So you're automatically offering them the literature. And I really like this description. Someone described to me once that there's 2 different first lines that you have. And they're like candy. One is like a sucker that you really love. It's a flavor that's your favorite that you always have on hand. And that's going to be like this sentence, one that you can always pull out. And the other one's going to be like, have you ever seen one of those like mystery flavor suckers that you never know what you're going to get? That's what we like to call the Holy Spirit, who just likes to have you say whatever needs to be said to a particular client. I know myself, there has been some very weird things I've said to people as a first sentence, but it totally worked. And so definitely be open to changing up the script a little bit if God leads you. Only one person talks, so if you're out there with another sidewalk counselor, it's best to approach the woman, just one person at a time. So if there's a woman coming up, quickly decide which one of you is going to go speak to her, and the other person can stick back and pray or talk to another woman if another woman shows up. So only one person is speaking to her. So you're a real person. It's hard to say no when someone hands you something. So even if all she will do is take your literature, she's probably at least going to do that much because you're a real person and you're handing her something, and so she's probably going to take it. So prayer warriors and sign holders elsewhere. So if your sidewalk counseling is really not a good idea to bring signs, even if they have like help numbers on there for like pregnancy centers and things like that, why does she need that number if you're standing there to help her? You know? And also it can make it seem more like a protesting type thing, and she might feel anxious to approach you. Prayer warriors is good if someone's like really wanting just to pray for the women that day, if they're like kneeling or praying a rosary or having some type of prayer session with other people to kind of be off to the side away from the people who are sidewalk counseling. This is a formula that a friend of mine put together. It's just a very quick way that you can sidewalk counsel. Intro, offer help. Ask for reasons why they want an abortion. Show them live pictures, make the child real, talk about how beautiful the child will be. Personalized, you can take characteristics that they have and kind of give them to the child. Show them graphic photos if you feel called to do that. And the last line that you should say to her should always be positive. So if she's going to walk away from you, whether she's leaving or whether she's going in, it should be positive. So he's counting on you, or she'll have your beautiful eyes. It's really good to mention yourself again at the end, like we're here for you, or you can always come back out here. So make it a very like loving, happy last thing that you say to her.